Good morning, everyone. This is a public hearing of the Committee on Labor and Civil Service regarding Bill number 250607. I note for the record that a quorum of the committee is present. This hearing is now called to order. Mr. Kunkel, will you please read the title of the bill being considered today?
Bill number 250607, an ordinance amending Chapter 17-100 of the Philadelphia Code, entitled Procurement Contracts by revising Section 17-101, entitled Pre-Qualification of Prospective Bidders for Contracts for Construction of Public Works, to establish minimum workforce training requirements and documentation standards for contractors and subcontractors on public works projects, all under certain terms and conditions.
Thank you, Mr. Kunkel. Will you please call the roll?
Councilmember Ahmad.
Present.
Councilmember Brooks. Councilmember Gilmore Richardson. Councilmember Harity.
Present.
Councilmember Landau.
Present.
Councilmember Lozada. Councilmember O'Neill. Councilmember Phillips.
Mr. Kunkel, we have a quorum? Yep. All right. Yep, I'm good. All right. This bill established apprenticeship and pre-apprenticeship requirements for public works projects over 300,000 or more. This initiative brings significant benefits to our city by creating apprenticeship opportunities. We empower local youth and disadvantaged individuals to gain essential skills to contribute to our workforce. Trained apprentices contribute to higher quality and safer construction. This lowers the risk of accidents, ensures we meet industry standards, specifically on trades for underrepresented groups, ensuring everyone has a fair chance to succeed. Additionally, this requirement aligns with our objectives of enhancing workforce development, promoting economic diversity. In sum, this bill is an investment in our city's future, workforce, and infrastructure. I encourage all the committee members to support this bill. Would any of the members like to make any opening remarks?
Yes.
Seeing none? Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I'm sorry. Catherine Gilmore Richardson, Councilwoman.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to all the members of the Labor Committee. And I just wanted to uplift you and your team for this legislation. You know how deeply I care about apprenticeship programs and the opportunity for young people here in the city of Philadelphia and those who are wishing to reskill and upskill to have an opportunity to be a part of an apprenticeship program, and more importantly, a registered apprenticeship program. So I just want to thank you for your great work on this legislation and look forward to supporting this effort and continuing the work that we all do together with our partners in all of our unions regarding our apprenticeship guidebook and ensuring that we are exposing young people to opportunities available within our building trades. So thank you very, very much.
Well, listen, thank you, because you were the first to get this stuff started with the apprentice guidebook. And as somebody who was in the trades, I know that this is a chance for kids to really come up. So I thank you. Will the clerk please call the first, anyone else? I'm sorry. You're good? Yeah, my brain's going pretty quick. Will the clerk please call the first panel of witnesses to testify?
Aparna Palantino, Director of the Capital Program Office, Ron Hovey, Procurement Commissioner, and Andre Bragg, Director of the Office of Labor Standards.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Please state your name for the record and proceed with your testimony.
Good morning, Chairperson Harity and members of the Committee on Labor and Civil Service. My name is Aparna Palantino, and I'm the Director of the Capital Program Office for the City of Philadelphia. I'm here today to testify on Bill 250607, introduced by Councilmember Harity. I'm joined by Procurement Commissioner Ron Hovey and the Director of Labor Standards, Andre Bragg. This bill would amend Chapter 17100 of the Philadelphia Code entitled Procurement Contracts by revising Section 17101 entitled Pre-Qualification of Prospective Bidders for Contracts for Construction of Public Works, to establish minimum workforce training requirements and documentation standards for contractors and subcontractors on public works projects. First, on behalf of the administration, we would like to thank Councilmember Harity for working with us on the amendments we understand this committee will adopt today. This bill, as proposed to be amended, would strengthen existing measures to ensure the qualifications of the majority of the workforce on public works contracts. This bill would also require firms to be qualified and have a history of competence in the work for which they have been contracted by ensuring that at least 70% of the workforce on these projects have successfully completed or are enrolled in certified apprenticeship programs. Under the proposed amendment, this ordinance would apply to certain categories of public works contracts valued at $300,000 or more when the anticipated workforce on the project exceeds 4 individuals at any one time. Non-compliance with these new regulations could result in disqualification or debarment. In conclusion, we appreciate Chairperson Harity's collaboration on amendments and respectfully request that the committee adopt them. That concludes my testimony, and we are happy to answer any questions. It's just me.
Oh, beautiful. That is great. I appreciate it. First, also, thank you guys. Thank my staff for doing the hard work. We've been working on this for a long time. And thank you to the mayor for supporting this. She came up with some nice amendments to make it a little bit better, which we will pass today, hopefully. So I'd like to pass it on to my colleagues. Are there any questions? Councilman Phillips, and then Councilman Gilmore, then Councilman Ahmad.
I just want to say thank you so much for working with Councilman Harity on this very important bill. Councilman Harity, great job. As we know that we in the city of Philadelphia do not move without having the support of labor. All of our work, all of the things that we've seen in the city of Philadelphia is because of labor, and it's unfortunate that I didn't know, thank you, that's why I say thank you, Councilman, that there are individuals who have gotten away with not bringing in individuals that are union, and most importantly, making sure that they're well-trained through apprenticeships, and this bill does that. I just want to ask a quick question around how can we ensure the effectiveness of this. Oftentimes we create bills and that are the right thing to do, and then somehow we're in communication years later with the union. The union's talking about why this is not happening. We just want to make sure it's effective. So for me, how will the city ensure that there is a sufficient supply of apprenticeships available to meet the project demand once the bill becomes effective? And also, is there going to be a way, I want to ask, are you planning to track the success? You know, will the city publicly report which projects received exemptions and analyze whether or not these exemptions impact cost, safety, or project timelines? So I just want to see how we're going to be basically tracking the success of this bill as well.
So before I defer to my colleague to answer the tracking piece, I would like to mention that we would work closely with the unions and other organizations to ensure that there's, at the onset of a project, that we have mechanisms in place to be able to accomplish this appropriately. And then I can defer to Procurement Commissioner to answer the tracking.
Sure thing. Thank you. I'm Ron Hovey, Procurement Commissioner. And thank you for inviting us. And thank you, Councilmember Harity, for including us early and adopting some of the administrative changes we requested, because as you know, we're working to streamline procurement, and that helped us greatly in sort of piling on difficult to implement tracking measures. And so to Councilmember Phillips' question with regard to tracking, so there is a section of this, the bill, that talks about the reporting. So we'll be gathering data which will be available sort of in a raw form all year long, and we'll report annually back to the council on the outcomes that we see. And that includes the issuance of waivers. And so that acts both as a measure and a brake on issuing waivers to make sure that they're used appropriately. So, yeah, it's that reporting functionality where, we're not going off and doing this in secret. It's done in the open daylight, and it's accessible to all of you.
Okay, that's important, because when they're not, it's important for me to know that, but also just want to make sure that, the workforce documentation is there to ensure that contractors remain compliant, and that we have the staffing available to make sure that we do the debarment, right? If they lose their opportunity to work with the city of Philadelphia if they're not in compliance. We don't want to be like, wait a minute, they've been out of compliance for 4 years and we're just now catching up to it, So just that's the part that I want to make sure you're ready on.
And if I may, so the mayor's CCME initiative is looking for ways to grow in the direction of workforce development. And so I think that, as we look at this over time, if we see gaps in the availability, that may be an area where we could leverage some of the newer policies in the right direction to support this initiative, because it is one of my concerns of this bill that, you're always balancing additional requirements with creating sort of the most sort of seamless, smooth, open marketplace, and that's the balance that we need to strike. And so it becomes less of an issue if there are more than adequate resources available.
Thank you so much, and
just
appreciate it.
a point of reference, we did put in there, so once a year they have to give us a report on what is going on, who's in compliance, who's not in compliance, how many people are actually hired. That's the whole idea of tracking the numbers. So I made sure, thank you for asking that question. I thought of the same thing. We got to make sure that we have a little bit of a say in this. So once a year, they will have to come report to us, right?
And are they able to verify that 70%, like, is there a system that they can verify that 70% of the contractors, they have to provide a whole list?
I can speak to that. Hello, my name is Andre Bragg. I'm the Director of Labor Standards. Yes, we'll be able to verify. We currently verify all apprentice on jobs, and we'll take a step further in ensuring that getting the correct documentation and keeping track and data through our LCP tracker compliance system. So we will be able to track and have the staffing to not only track it, but have interviews and cross-reference to make sure that all the companies are in compliance. We're going to be very intentional about not putting a lot of burden on contractors, because we don't want to keep putting burden on them. At the same time, we want to ensure that they are meeting these goals. So it will be tracked quarterly. Each project will be tracked and documented.
Yeah, I asked that question as my last question because I know some people are very sneaky and they're not honorable.
Yeah.
They'll literally put someone on the payroll and then show you, and then they'll get the check, and then they'll give it to someone else. Or there's so many ways, or they'll put someone's name there. So I just want to make sure that we're really careful for all those loopholes.
Councilman Phillips, you are exactly right, and that's the importance of the interviews and doing the inspections, because realistically, what it can do is allow people not to put people on the payroll or to put a different name on the payroll. So that's the importance of us doing interviews and making sure that we interview this daily and on our projects.
All right, thank you.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, Councilman.
Thank you, Councilman. It's Kathy, then Nina, then you. Yep, absolutely. I'm keeping track. Councilwoman Gilmore Richardson?
Thank
Then
you.
Councilman Nina Ahmad, then Councilman Rulando.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair, and thank you to Councilmember Dr. Anthony Phillips for the questions that you offered. I had the opportunity to review the amendments that were offered as a part of the work through with the administration and Councilmember Harity's office and team, and I too had the same question. Obviously, the last one was answered relative to subsection J, but relative to subsection I, wherein the procurement commissioner shall submit an annual report to the clerk of the council justifying each exercise of subsection 17-101 8H no later than December 31st of each year. I just wanted to confirm that the procurement commissioner and the office will be available to confirm on the record that you all will be able to submit the annual report to council and that you will begin not this calendar year, obviously, because of the timing of the passage of the legislation, but that would begin in 2026, which would cover FY26 and then partially FY27. I was just wondering if there was a reason why you all did calendar for reporting versus fiscal.
What was the last part? The very last sentence.
Meaning the procurement commissioner annual report to council in the amendments that we received. I was just asking for the difference of calendar year versus fiscal, just seeking to understand that that reporting process works for procurement. And then obviously that the first report would be technically December of 2026, which would cover the remainder of FY26 and the beginning or the first half of FY27.
So in all honesty, my preference would be that the bill said not less than annually rather than a specific date, because increasingly I want to get to an annual report footing to council as part of, the driving towards a more efficient approach. But with that one minor thing, we absolutely will be reporting on this at the required time, regardless, wherever the date falls. And we will get on an annual rate, annual schedule. The reason I ask for the one adjustment is because in other bills, it could give a different date, and so we would like to get to a singular annual report of compliance.
Well, that's why I was asking, because of the work that we even did with the Health and Human Service portfolio around the nonprofit contracting. I know that one thing that came up was ensuring that the reporting process covered the fiscal year and didn't sort of have the reporting process. So I just wanted to ensure that you all would be able to meet the demand of this amendment and that you're okay with calendar year, or do you want fiscal year? Because that's a simple change while we're in committee. That's why I'm asking.
My preference would be to be non-specific and to say not less than annually rather than on a particular date, calendar, or fiscal. But if you do pick one, I think fiscal probably works a little better for us. But yes, and as you know, with the new system, with the OPAL system going in, it'll be easier to report on many of these things. But right now, it's a struggle to gather data manually from multiple systems, which may or may not collect the data in the way council asks. And that was actually one of the hallmarks of this process, is that Councilmember Harity was very accommodating otherwise in the administrative changes that he made. Did I answer your question?
No, you did. And like I said, the only reason why I asked is, in addition to that, under Section 2 of the proposed amendment, the effective date changed to the beginning of the fiscal year, which is technically FY27. So I was just wondering, Mr. Chair, if it would be better for them to do fiscal year reporting structure versus calendar, since the amendments that we all received say July 1, 26. So that way, what would happen is that first report, if it were due December 31st of 2026, it would only cover July 1 of 26 up until however many months in order for them to do the reporting. So I don't know whether it'd be better to do it on fiscal, because then that also, to your point, with the implementation of OPAL, would also give you the time frame from July 1 of 26 to do the whole year, and then technically we would get the report, the first report, June 30 of 27.
That's the direction we're heading, is to be issuing for all things compliance.
It's just one word, yeah. Mhm.
Like along with the budget, we'd start giving you a compliance report.
Okay, is that okay?
That to make it easier for report.
Yeah.
That's what this is about, is to actually make it so we can get the information. I don't want to make it harder to actually get what I want to get, which is the numbers. You know what I'm saying? So yes, I'm fine with that. We'll make the change, and when we introduce the amendment, it'll be so.
Thank you,
Thank you.
and thank
No,
you so much,
thank
Mr.
you.
Chair, because I think that really aligns with the amendments that we received, and I know that you worked really hard and closely with the administration, and I just want to ensure that we are able to receive the information that you
Right.
have requested in a timely fashion, but also in the way that works for the new implementation of the OPAL system and all the work that I know has been happening in the background, trying to get everybody on fiscal and away from calendar. Okay? Thank you so much,
Thank
Mr.
you for
Chair,
your
for the
leadership.
accommodation.
Councilman Needham Ahmad.
Thank you,
Councilwoman.
Chair. Good morning. Thank you for your testimony. First, I have to say I commend you on the testimony that lays out all this information with the fiscal note. Deeply appreciate how you've broken it down. It makes it so easy to look through this. So let's make sure everybody gives us this because, yes, this is another system to put into place. My question was about the apprenticeship training programs. Do we have sufficient training programs to meet the need for what we are proposing, is one question, and then I have a follow-up.
To answer your question, the bill is for people, mostly verification of workers that's already been through the program, as well as our unions are sufficiently supplying apprentices. So I would say, yes, that there are a sufficient amount of apprenticeships. I know that with the uptick of jobs that comes and goes, the union usually, has more apprentice openings and things like that. So that would.
The reason I ask is we hope this will create a pipeline, right?
Yeah.
And we hope we can have these opportunities in places that haven't seen them before. And so that is going to take a while to do because you said these are people already trained. So, breaking into that workforce is very difficult, as we all know. But if we don't create that in our city, we're going to leave a whole bunch of people behind, which is where we are right now. So I just wanted to see, I know this is for $300,000 and up, right? Even though there's no requirement for those under that, are we encouraging them to make sure they do have trained apprentices, and then that would maybe create a pipeline, unrelated to the bill specifically, but to say just as a effort in the city, since we're doing apprenticeship training and encouraging it and requiring it in some cases, how do we take this and broaden it and make sure we have people ready, and if this were ever to change to a lower number to 100,000, we would have the workforce ready to do that. So I would love to see how we can work to actually create real pipelines in communities that have never seen this, which means starting even before the training, which means starting in high schools. I know my colleague, Majority Leader, has worked really a lot on this issue, and we would love to amplify that because now there's a real pathway to say 70% has to be. The second question was about the waivers. Could you explain what the waivers were about? Or when would the waivers go into?
Sure. So the intent of the waivers is for work or specific projects that doesn't typically lend itself to being done by apprentice-type folks. So,
So it would be a journeyman doing it, not an apprentice?
or specialized, oh, I'm sorry.
Point of information. So what it would be is the specialized field. So like
Okay.
we have a company that does pigeon removal at the airport. That's a specialized thing. There's only one or two people that
I
do
see.
it. So we don't have a big opportunity to choose from anyway, so all that's cut out. And then highway work, because highway, we don't have an apprentice program. Our things are done by certifications, not apprentice. So, and they're actually, the state law supersedes us, so we
Okay.
just cut them out because most of the time it's state roads, they're working on it. It's not our jurisdiction.
Okay.
I can give you one more example, elevators and escalators. So typically, those folks are trained specifically on certain pieces of equipment by the companies. And I don't think that they have an official apprentice program, but they're certified on their
There's no volume
equipment.
for that either. Yeah, the volume
Yes.
is probably not as much. Just, you mentioned something, Commissioner, about balancing, right? Regulation versus getting to make sure we have jobs in the city and construction projects. That brings to the whole issue about timing, how much the company or the, whoever's got the job has to comply and how smooth that process is. So the complaints I get from people in the construction industry is every time you guys put another requirement for us, you don't make it easy for us to do it because then we're stuck and time is money on these things. So I just want to make sure that if we're going to put all these requirements, we're also creating a very smooth, quick, fast turnaround for them to be able to comply and to know that they had checked the boxes. So I just wanted to know how, and this is a complaint not just here, but across the board on many things the city does. I understand there's a process and we are short-staffed sometimes. But in order for our dollars to move, because the dollars move when these things come, and not only the direct but indirect impact of these things are huge, and we need revenue. So how are we going to make sure that we are not behind the ball on this?
So I can give you a clear answer on one of the two aspects of that. So there's two aspects to this bill that affects the administration of it, right? So first there's the administrative part of it, what we require them to do and how they report it. And then the second thing is the supply of workers. And that's the harder one to address. So first, let me just talk about the easier one, the administrative side. So, this is at the beginning, we moved from they must comply with this during the bidding phase, which we fed, the feedback we gave was that would be a barrier to many companies to even compete in this area because it's difficult as a contractor when you're looking at the different opportunities in front of you and you have to balance, you're going to win some portion of those, not all. So you don't know exactly who you're going to put on what project. So we asked for a tongue-tied here, a self-certification saying, yes, I can achieve that. I don't know exactly how. They will tell us the how when they start the project, right? And we will monitor their performance. So we made it more of a, do you have the capacity, and we will track your actual performance, rather than you have to tell us everything up front. So from an administrative approach, we've lowered the barriers. Obviously, the other side is the pipeline. I don't have a quick, easy, happy answer for you. The realistic answer is that's hard, right? That's the rub of the issue. And I think that we may see a few solicitations where it doesn't go well the first few times, and we're like, oh yeah, that area, that might be the subject of we need to rebid it, right, without that requirement. But we'll have that knowledge from bidding it. But I think I'm hopeful that build it and they will come. I think that, I mentioned earlier CCME, and I think that a discussion with the administration perhaps about that, because there was a speaker at the CCME kickoff the other day who came from another, I forget where, it might have been New York, who was talking about how they have linked up with apprentice programs as part of their pipeline. So I think that there's opportunities for the city to both, push supply and pull supply.
And streamline it, so.
And my focus, because that's not my bailiwick, and so I'm sort of speculating at that end of it.
Yeah.
But my side is the administration of solicitations and contracts, and so I'm trying to make that as seamless and smooth for our contractors as possible.
Well, thank you. I have a quick question for labor standards. How are you going to be involved, your department going to be involved in this whole process?
So we'll be doing the tracking.
Okay.
Once the job has started, we'll be tracking the numbers on the job. We collect payrolls weekly from every project, every contractor. So we'll be taking those numbers, taking that data, put it into whatever report that Mr. Hovey needs to provide him the numbers. This project is at 65%, or this project is at 80%. We'll be providing those numbers, so we'll be doing 100% of the tracking of the.
The reason I ask is, in the midst of a job that started, and if there's slipping, on the percentage, the 70%, how quickly can that be addressed so there's not a disruption and suddenly in the middle of a half-built project, we have a problem, right? So I just trying to anticipate how smoothly we can, because this is a good bill to make sure we have safety on the job, we have people trained to do what they're doing, but I'm just thinking from the perspective of the actual job site.
So definitely, I think our goal will be, to kind of be preemptive, to collect workforce numbers prior to a company's workforce numbers and data before they even get on the job. They'll kind of know where they're at. So they'll know if they can reach these numbers, or if their subcontractor only has 20%, they should know. We will make sure. We don't want to catch the contractors blind. That is not our goal. It never has been our goal. Our goal is to work with the contractor and meet these numbers. We're one city. We all have the same goal. So we'll try to let them know, hey, we're at 25% of the project. You're looking at 35%. How can we work on these numbers, or what can we change? And we work with them like we do on our other programs to make sure that they can reach these goals.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Chair. I'm dead.
I recognize Councilwoman Rue Landau.
Thank you so much. I'm going to be quick just to thank all of you very much for your participation with us with this bill. There's nothing more important as we're watching our trades create these great apprenticeship programs than to create the pipelines for the jobs that they need. So this is just a part of making that easier, getting more people into work, getting them into actually on-the-job training. Thank you so much. I also need to step out for a little bit, so just want to tell you I'm watching upstairs and I'll come back down. Thanks. Comment not catching.
Oh,
I'll be right back.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Thank you, everyone, for testifying, and Commissioner, thank you. I know okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. We got one more question, but I wanted to thank you personally, because my staff did nothing but rave about how pleasant you made the process, and how you explained to them the procurement side of it, and they said that you actually got our side of it. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate the courtesy. Councilwoman Kathy Gilmore Richardson.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. Just wanted to get one more thing on the record relative to a commitment from the administration relative to hiring 2 field inspectors and a compliance analyst, and wanted to get the timeline for the hiring process for the 3 positions.
So we're looking to do that immediately when this bill is passed. I can get that information for you and get it back to you in writing, but I don't have that information.
Okay,
I'm
that'll be
sorry.
great, just that we have something in writing relative to the timeline for hiring for the field inspectors and the compliance analysts, and then when the jobs become available in the city portal, if you could just share it with our chairman for dissemination to members of the committee so that we could also share the information as well. And then finally, we had worked with the Office of Human Resources over some time based on additional legislation that I had introduced regarding our young people going into some of the skilled trade positions with the city. Does this impact them or no? No? The CTE grads? Okay. But meaning, could they be eligible for the opportunity? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. All
Yes,
right.
I believe
Thank you
so,
so
yeah.
much. Okay, thank you very, very much. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Councilwoman, thank you all for coming in, and thank you. You're also doing a fantastic job, keeping people on the up and up is a big deal, and we appreciate all of you and the hard work you do every day. There's a lot of us up here who started as staffers, so we know that, behind the scenes, you guys are the ones doing the real work, so we appreciate you. Thank you. Mr. Kunkel, will you please call the next panel to testify?
Kylie Pickens, CAP Program, Aaron O'Brien Hoffman, DC 21 Director of Member Engagement, Elaine McGuire, Business Agent, Rosie's Girls, and Jamal Coles, Business Agent, Ironworkers 401.
Thank you all. Good morning. Thank you for coming. Will you please state your name for the record and proceed with your testimony?
Good morning. My name is Kylie Pickens, and I'm from the Construction Apprentice Preparatory Program, better known as CAP. Thank you for the opportunity to provide testimony today regarding Bill number 250607, introduced by Councilmember Harity. CAP was created by my late uncle, Walt McGill, who was a retired IBEW Local 98 electrician. Uncle Walt made it his life's mission to introduce individuals from the communities in Philadelphia to life-changing careers in construction. When I took over the program upon his passing in 2019, we became a state-registered pre-apprenticeship program. Since 2017, CAP has enrolled over 390 participants to the program with an 83% graduation rate. More importantly, 87% of those graduates were placed employed with a trade union and are still active apprentices and journeymen. Upon successful completion of the program, participants achieve tangible outcomes that directly enhance their career prospects, like state certification from the Department of Labor, passage of required exams for entry into registered apprenticeship programs, positive interviews with registered apprenticeship programs, and entry into a registered apprenticeship program and/or sustainable employment. Our rigorous reporting system ensures that these outcomes are systematically measured and documented. We maintain regular communication with participants both during and after the program to track their progress and employment status, which is also necessary for reporting compliance with the state's Apprenticeship and Training Office. The CAP Pre-Apprenticeship Program is designed to ensure that our graduates have elevated their interpersonal, time management, conflict resolution, and overall discipline to work effectively for any employer. This comprehensive preparation ensures that they are not just placed, but retained and successful in their new careers. Our instructors are CAP alumni who currently work as apprentices, journeymen, and even foremen within the building trades. Their direct, real-life experience is invaluable. They serve as mentors, providing practical advice, guidance, and enhancing students' job-ready skills.
Thank you for your testimony. Please state your name and begin your testimony for the record.
Jamal Coles, business agent organizer with Ironworkers Local 401. Testimony on bill number 250607, workforce training requirements for contractors on public works. Thank you, Council President and members of council for allowing me to speak in support of the bill. The importance of having workforce training requirements guarantees the work will be completed by competent, certified, skilled trade persons. When projects are completed by highly skilled trade persons, it diminishes exorbitant repairs. The qualified contractor won't cut corners by purchasing, then installing inferior materials. Essentially, you're getting what you're paying for. Another advantage to using skilled trade persons, they can quickly identify hazards. This skill is vital to the safety of our members and to the public. These training requirements would discourage contractors who thrive in the underground economy. They constantly engage in worker misclassification and wage theft to obtain public contracts. They not only swindle their employees, but also the municipality they're currently working in. Lastly, by implementing training requirements, it would allow the qualified contractor to invest in future workforce training, local workforce training. The common denominator is training, education, and then putting the residents of Philadelphia to work. These aren't just jobs, but life-changing careers. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Please state your name and begin with your testimony.
Good morning. Elaine McGuire, business rep for Local 98 and also Rosie's Girls Coordinator. Thank you. Thank you, Council Chair Haggerty and council members for this opportunity to speak. My name is Elaine McGuire and I'm a proud tradeswoman and a strong supporter of registered apprenticeships and pre-apprenticeship programs like Rosie's Girls, a program that opens the door for more women and girls to enter into the building trades. I'm here because city-funded projects should do more than just pour concrete and hang steel. They should build careers. When you require apprentice-trained workers on public projects, you're making sure that the people who wire our schools, build our hospitals, and build our housing are properly trained, tested, and held to the highest safety standards. Apprenticeship isn't just learning on the job. It's thousands of hours under the supervision of experienced journey persons, combined with classrooms instruction, state-approved curriculum, and rigorous safety training. That means fewer mistakes, fewer accidents, and buildings that will serve this city for decades without costly repairs. Every tax dollar stretches further when the work is done right the first time by trained apprentice and skilled union labor. But but there's another reason for this matter. Who gets these careers? For a long time, women were told this isn't for you, but Rosie's Girls is changing that. We introduce young women and girls to trades early. We put real tools in their hands, we show them that they belong on the job sites, and we connect them to registered apprenticeship programs that will lead to family-sustaining wages, benefits, and pensions. I've watched young girls who were shy on one day and stepped onto a job site in a lift and wired a circuit and suddenly see a future for themselves that they didn't know existed. When your policies prioritize apprenticeship-trained workers and support programs like Rosie's Girls, you're not just filling today's labor needs. You're building more inclusive, diverse, and skilled workforce for the future. So I'm asking you to keep and strengthen requirements for apprentice-trained workers on all city-funded projects and to continue supporting the pipeline programs that bring women into the trades. Thank you for your time and for investing in workers like me and in the next generation of Rosie's Girls who are ready to build this city. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Please state your name and begin with your testimony.
Good morning. My name is Erin O'Brien Hoffman, and I serve as the Director of Member Engagement for District Council 21 of the International Union of Painters and Allied Trades. Thank you for the opportunity to provide testimony today in strong support of Bill number 250607, introduced by Councilmember Harity. This bill is more than a contracting requirement. It's a strategic investment in Philadelphia's workforce, economic mobility, and long-term infrastructure quality. In the Philadelphia building trades, we see firsthand how high-standard registered apprenticeship programs transform lives. Our members that we trained through the registered apprenticeship system, one of the most rigorous and respected workforce development pipelines in the nation. I also want to highlight the essential role of pre-apprenticeship programs, including our own, WINC, Women in Non-Traditional Careers, and VIP, the Vocational Internship Program. These programs create pathways for women, single parents, returning citizens, and young people who may not see a clear route into family-sustaining careers. WINC and similar programs provide OSHA 10, first aid CPR, hands-on skills, financial literacy, career coaching, and direct connections to the building trades apprenticeship programs. These are not just theoretical opportunities. These are real pipelines that are changing real lives right here in Philadelphia. Bill 250607 strengthens this ecosystem by ensuring that contractors working on public projects participate in registered apprenticeship programs, pay prevailing wages, and maintain strong worker safety and practices. Philadelphia deserves safe work sites, timely and reliable project delivery, and a workforce trained to the highest industry standards. This bill supports these goals. It ensures that taxpayer dollars create measurable community benefit, opening doors for residents while guaranteeing the city receives quality craftsmanship. On behalf of the building trades and District Council 21 and the thousands of men and women that we proudly represent, I urge the committee to advance Bill number 250607. Thank you for your time and commitment to strengthening Philadelphia's workforce and future. Thank you.
Thank you all for your testimony, and thank you for what you do every day, promoting the pre-apprentice and apprentice programs, giving our kids a future. So I thank you for that. Mr. Cole went, yes, I'm sorry. Yes, he did. I just have a couple questions before I pass it on to my colleagues. I'm a product of the labor movement, so I kind of know what's going on. I want them to be able to hear theirs. But Aaron, can you, in your testimony, you talked about career paths for single women, parents, and returning citizens. Can you talk about the types of skills that your apprentice require that set them apart from other training schools?
Sure. I mean, we have the highest excellence in safety, and our apprentices are coming with skill sets that set them apart from anybody that's not going through a registered apprenticeship program. It's the pinnacle of training, and the difference between going home every day the same way that you came to work.
Can you tell us how, as a woman, the building trades, the opportunities you were presented, has changed your life?
I could talk about that for a very long time, Councilman Harity.
Please briefly.
I mean, it's the best choice that I ever made, and it's the difference between health care, retirement benefits, access to family-sustaining wages, the difference of being a woman that doesn't need anybody else to help me because I have a career that I'm able to meet not only my needs, but the needs of all of my children as well. And it's been completely life-changing. It's the only industry where women make equal pay to men.
There we go. All right. You know what? I'm going to pass it on to my colleagues so that we can get through this. I know we want to keep our quorum, so we got to keep going. Colleagues, Councilwoman Kathy Gilmore Richardson. Are you good? You good?
Not a question, just thank you. Thank you for doing what you're doing. Thank you for opening up our trades. Thank you for including people, and thank you for being here saying what a difference, and to have equal pay, which is not true most other places for the same work, is critical, and we need to herald that to say this is where this is happening. If you can do it, all places should be able to do it. So I just wanted to say thank you for your service.
Thank you.
No further questions. I thank you for your service. I thank you for being here today and taking time out of your busy schedule to come in and educate us on this topic. Mr. Conkle? Yeah, we're gonna take a short recess, and we'll be right back with the rest of the hearing. Yep. All right, Mr. Conkle, will you please call the next panel to testify?
There are no further speakers, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. There is anyone else here to testify on Bill 250607, whose name has not yet been called? Seeing none, we will now move to our public comment section. Mr. Conkle, please call the first speaker for public comment.
There are no further speakers, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you for your testimony. Mr. Conkle, there will, all right, hold on here. Listen. The clerk will read the list written, clerk will, Mr. Conkle, is there any other testimony?
For written testimony, Montgomery County Commissioners and Bucks County Commissioners.
Thank you. We will, they have been submitted to everybody in writing. Thank you. They have submitted in writing. Everybody will have a copy of that in your packet. This concludes the public hearing on Bill number 250607. We will now move into our public meeting. All right, Mr. Conkle, will you please call the roll for the public meeting?
Councilmember Ahmad? Councilmember Brooks? Councilmember Gilmore Richardson?
Present.
Councilmember Harity?
Present.
Councilmember Landau?
Present.
Councilmember Lozada? Councilmember O'Neill? Councilmember Phillips?
Okay. The chair now recognizes Councilwoman Catherine Gilmore Richardson for a motion on the amendment to Bill number 250607.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I offer an amendment to Bill number 250607. A copy of the amendment has been circulated to all members of the committee, and I move that the amendment to Bill number 250607 be approved.
Second.
Thank you. It has been moved and properly seconded that the amendment to Bill number 250607 be approved. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Hearing none. The ayes have it, and the motion carries. The amendment to Bill number 250607 is approved. The chair recognizes Councilwoman Catherine Gilmore Richardson for a motion on Bill number 250607 as amended.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that Bill number 250607 as amended be reported from this committee with a favorable recommendation, and that the rules of council be suspended as to permit first reading of this bill at the next session of council.
Second.
It has been moved and properly seconded that Bill number 250607 as amended be reported from this committee with a favorable recommendation, and that the rules of council be suspended to permit first reading at the next session of council. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it. The bill will be reported from committee. This concludes the business before the Committee on Labor and Civil Service. Thank you. Thank you all who are in attendance.
Thank you, guys.